So on today's episode, I have a good friend of mine who I not coached with. I was the Dobo at Denver when Bree was a freshman at the University of Denver when I worked there. So Bree, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
No, thank you. First podcast. Let's see how it goes.
I know I'm nervous, but like excited, but because it'll be good for us to catch up too. So I'm like excited to hear like what you've been doing all this time too, though. So
no, me too.
So how is life now? Like, what are you doing like back in California? Like, what have you been doing since you graduated?
Basically, since I graduated, I took some time off. I took about 6 months off to really just relax. I was traveling with my brother, watching him play basketball, and I didn't really realize how much I've missed from him and like his high school career. Because I was basically in college, his high school career. So it was nice. We traveled to Arizona. We went to Napa.
That's fun.
We went to Vegas.
How old is your brother now?
20.
Oh my God. Okay, so I remember when you came on your visit, like your brother was like trying to play me one-on-one, and like I was like, oh my God. Christian, that's his name, right?
Yeah, Christian.
Yeah. He had to have been what, like 13, 14?
He was so young. Yeah. He was young. He wasn't even in high school yet.
Yeah.
He was in like 8th grade.
It was so funny. Every time he came, he was like, Britt. I was like, oh my God. That's crazy. 20? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I basically traveled with him. I went to New York. I was honestly just trying to travel and live.
Do normal non-athlete things.
Yeah. But it hit me hard, like the whole adjustment. Like I still have friends back at Denver, like, doing a normal routine of class, practice, going out having fun.
Yeah.
And then I'm back at home and I'm like, wow, like everything went from like 100 to 0.
Yeah.
Like everything completely slows down and you don't really realize it.
Yeah.
Like nobody, like you can never be prepared for how it feels to be done with college.
Oh, I know. It took me it was just like, you go from being in the team group chat to like, you're not, and then you like see your teammates like lifting and you're like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Like,
yeah, like I'm at home, like laying in bed, chilling, like I'm bored now.
Yeah, it's a crazy transition for sure. Okay, so one of the things I like to do with everyone is kind of like connect the dots because I'm a big relationship person. So obviously we were at Denver together, but what are some of your like first memories with me or something that comes to mind? Because I have some good ones of you, but like what do you remember about like our time together at Denver?
Honestly, one of my favorite moments is when you had me wear those oversized shorts. I think it was like a double XL practice shorts to shoot around, and I was out there and I did it too because I think you had us on the you had the good list and the naughty list, and somehow I made my way to the naughty list. I think before Christmas.
Because you didn't turn in your laundry loop. That was why you had those shorts. So you asked for new shorts, and so I gave you a double XL. That Snapchat still like pops up on my memories every year, and I just like die laughing. I'm like, oh my God.
I was so hurt. I was just like, wow.
I mean, okay, for those of you that don't know, Bree, how tall are you?
Like 5'4".
Yeah.
5'4".
Yeah.
Me down at 5'6", so
yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
And I mean, back then shorts were way longer too. Like those shorts were already long. So yeah, that was funny. I did make you and Lauren wear those.
That was honesty.
Yeah. I had that one on mine. And then I also had, do you remember you broke your shoes on the road?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
And during the game?
We
were in Indiana somewhere. Wayne. Yeah.
Yeah. It was Fort Wayne's game, I think.
And you were playing really good. It was a close game. So mid-game, like your shoe like breaks. And I had to like run downstairs and like I couldn't find any or anything. And then they literally just broke. And then that was the first game of the road trip. So we had to go to the mall the next day and we walked over there and we bought you some more Adidas shoes.
I know those. I literally wore those white ones probably for like 2 more years after that.
Really?
Those were my favorite shoes.
Yeah, you did have a bunch of other shoes and I forgot you wore that like same pair. Yeah.
Like those. Dang, I forgot about that.
Yep. That was on there. And then I remember the first time you saw snow, we were with Leah in Wyoming.
Oh my gosh, I do remember. It was barely snow.
No, it was like, not.
It wasn't even technically snow.
No. But being from California, you were so excited. And I was like, yeah, that was funny. We had a lot of good times together, I feel like.
No, we did.
Your freshman year. I had to take care of you guys. Oh, I miss you guys. I can't believe y'all are like so
you always get to give us the best snacks too. Oh my god.
Oh, do you remember the bread bag? I made the freshmen like carry this bag, and it was literally just bread. So when we landed, we could just have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches without like going anywhere. Y'all hated that bread bag.
But you gave us the best snacks.
Yeah.
Like, after freshman year, our snacks were never like that.
I love hearing that.
Especially going on all the trips and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did it right.
High standard, of course. That's awesome. But yeah, so anyways, I wanted to have you on just because obviously you've been through a lot, you know, mentally and just like with basketball in your life in general the last couple of years. And the audience that I have now are a lot of high school and college kids. And I feel like, especially with the females that follow me and everything like that, just like with the ACL, because it's so common, and even just any athlete period, coach, parent, whatever, and how they can like support someone going through everything that you went through. And I wasn't there for that for y'all. I was only there with Bree for her freshman year. And so I didn't want to like dig up like too much or anything like that, just so I can kind of like hear it like fresh from you as well. But so yeah, like coming out of high school, like senior year, thinking back to that time, like what were your goals for basketball? Like what did you see for yourself in the future, like coming into Denver as a freshman after high school?
Coming into Denver, I just wanted to make an impact. I wanted to have fun. You know, like when you're coming to college, it's so new. Everything is new. When I moved to where Denver was like 2 hour flight for me, which is not bad, but I wanted to leave anyways just so I could experience, you know, life on your own. And I think that everybody should do that. I think it was the best decision and best experience I could have had for college. But going in basketball wise, I just wanted to have fun. I wanted to learn from the people that were there. I wanted to play, and I wanted to have a good time. Going into freshman year, really, I didn't have too many expectations. I just wanted to go out there and see what was out there for me.
Did you ever, like your freshman year going to college, think like, oh, I want to play professionally overseas? Or was basketball just kind of like, I want to use it to get my school paid for? Like, did you have goals to play professionally?
Yeah, I would say I wanted to play overseas. I would go back and forth throughout college, just being like, okay, I want to play. Other times, okay, I don't really care to play overseas. Yeah. But I think like after I got hurt, it changed your mindset
a little bit,
like that.
Did you have like any previous injuries that you had in high school, or was like your ACL
I never had any serious injuries. Yeah. Like, of course, everybody rolls ankle. Yeah. But other than that, that's it.
Wow. I did not know that. Dang.
I know. And it's crazy because ACLs are so common and they just happen out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing.
So what were your first couple of years like at Denver? I know the year I was there with you, like you had a really solid freshman year. Let me see. Like you started 24 out of 30 games. You averaged 27 minutes and averaged like 8.5 points. Like that's pretty solid for a freshman year, D1 basketball. And then your sophomore year, 30 minutes a game, 29 out of 30 games. So what was it kind of like those first 2 years, like, slowly seeing yourself achieving those goals of making an impact?
Honestly, I was happy. My freshman year, I did better than I would have expected. I wouldn't say I did better than I would have expected, but I just think it's just like, you see the work start to pay off.
Yeah.
That's a better way of putting it. All the workouts you do growing up and your dream of getting a Division I scholarship, finally comes true. And then I remember that first game, being able to play in Magnus. Magnus is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I know we don't plan it no more, but you go in there and the arena is just huge.
Yeah.
and you
the lights are just hit different in there too.
They do, and it's just like when you step on the court for your first time, you just like, whoa, like I'm really in college now. You know, so freshman year was fun. Like I played so much.
You did. It was like by the end of the year, we were depending on you to do like so much, like defensively, offensively. You had to be a leader. Like I think Cece got hurt maybe, and it was like, here, Bree.
You know, we had a great team. You know, like honestly, I would say freshman year was probably the most family oriented team of my 5 years for sure. Like there was no drama, nothing. Like we were, you know, everybody together, no arguments really. Like everybody just, you know, we just wanted to win so bad. And I think our first year being such a rough year, that is just like we had to find ways to really stay together.
Yeah, because we lost a lot that year, and it was hard because you know, your class was very talented, but obviously like you guys were like really young. And then I remember we lost so many like close games. Like I remember when we were in Phoenix, everyone got sick, you know, and
oh my gosh, yeah.
Like, you know, there were just
we were playing with like 6 people.
Yeah, like there were just so many like crazy circumstances where like I can't remember who we were playing, but there was one game we literally had the game won, and like a girl hits like a buzzer beater. Like it just wasn't meant for us to win that year. But I can for sure like see that, and I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed my time there, because I know that it was hard for me to leave too, but it was good to see. Like I was happy though to see you guys like win more. Like when I left, I was like, I'm glad you guys got to experience that a little more. So was it hard adjusting to like a whole new staff that like didn't recruit you? I mean, obviously you still got a starting spot and everything like that, but you're adjusting to like a different style of play, like new coaching. And that's something that when you go into the recruiting process, you know, you're not really like prepared to deal with the coaching change, but it's the reality of college athletics. So just kind of talk about that and what that was like for you with a whole new coaching staff.
Yeah, I would say the coaching staff was a hard change. It wasn't hard, but it was different. Like you see, like how you said the stats, like I still started most of the games and everything, but it wasn't like that in the beginning. Like when our new coach came on the campus, I think he came on the campus around April. We had one workout. So my experience with him was shaky in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like really
I've heard stories, so
it was shaky.
Yeah.
He came in and he brought me in. He texted me one day. I remember I was asleep. I woke up and he texted me. He was like, "Can you come meet in my office in like 15 minutes or whatever?" So I went in the office, met with them. And the first thing he said to me, it was like, "Okay, how would you feel if you didn't start and played less than 10 minutes a game?"
What?
And I'm like, whoa. Like, for one, you don't know me. Like, we had 1 hour practice.
Yeah.
And then he had me in for that meeting. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, really what's going on? Like,
yeah.
I'm just like,
that's wild.
I was already mad. I'm already in my head like, okay, like,
yeah,
this is about to be a long year. And
right.
It's only April at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm dad, and I'm like, I tell him, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what's going on? And he was like, you want me to come up there? I was like, nah, I got it. I'm good. So then I literally was just working, like every day at practice, like doing everything I can.
Right.
And then he started to love me. Like, by the time season came, like, it was a whole 360. You would have thought we were best buddies.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Well, that's good, because I heard a lot of stories. We won't talk about those, but I've heard other people's stories. And so, like, you know, obviously, like, the work showed for itself, and you have like a great personality, great leader, and things like that. So, I mean, you got what you deserved with those minutes and everything. But yeah, coaching changes are completely hard. And I know that one definitely was for you guys. But I mean, I understand it too, though, because, you know, we did lose a lot, and nobody deserves to go through losing when you're, you know, working like really hard and everything. So, I mean, I think the change was good for you guys. I don't think in a lot of ways, I kind of agree with a lot of things that happened afterwards, obviously, but you know, change is good. And I'm glad to hear that you kind of like adapted to it a little bit and kind of still, you know, got to like start and play a lot of minutes and everything like that. So, but
yeah, I know it was a rough year for a lot of us because of everything that happened.
yeah.
But I mean, we did win a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's kind of just like, it's a little like, it's kind of not even, it wasn't even a balance because a lot of stuff shouldn't have been done. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's kind of like, it's hard. You
Yeah.
know, everybody goes through different challenges and faces
Mm-hmm.
different things in life, you know? And then you have to look at college as like a business too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like,
especially
you gotta
D1.
use
Yeah.
them just like they use us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah.
paying for us to go to school and they're taking 40 or however many hours they're taking out of our week. You know what I mean? So we
Yeah.
gotta use them, get as much as we can from them too.
Yeah.
You know? And I feel like a lot of people don't look at it that way.
No, it for sure is a business. And I think that's a great point of advice to give to younger people is to look at it like that, because when you come in as a freshman, like you see the positive side. You see, okay, I'm away from home. Like I have this new social life. I have this gear, like we're traveling, but you don't see the hurdles that like are strategically placed to like test you. Balancing
Mm-hmm.
everything, like finding time to eat, like, dealing with the social life. Are you going to go out? Are you going to do homework? Making these decisions. Are you going to play? Like, the coach isn't going to treat you the same as your roommate and y'all are like best friends and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for sure, like hearing, obviously your freshman year, staff was great. Everyone got along. And then the next year, you guys, I think more than doubled the wins that we had the year before. But it's like, dang, like, is this the price you have to pay for winning at this level? It's like you have to give up something to get something. And it's like crazy because no one wants to lose. But then it's like to win, you're going through all this like other stuff that you weren't expecting at all.
It's hard. It's really hard, honestly. Like when you look back at it, it's just like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
But that's why it's just like playing college sports is more mental than physical.
Yeah.
Like you have to be mentally strong to really get through it.
Yeah.
And I think it makes everybody a better people at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. So that was your sophomore year. Your junior year, you tore your ACL. And I remember, because I'm still in a group chat with the coaches at Denver. And I think maybe Coach Seth had sent a message or something. And my heart just like broke. I was just like, oh my God, like, no, like, did she really? Like, I remember like, I didn't want to like, bother you or like text you. So I think I had like messaged like Lauren and Leah and they were like, yeah, like she tore her ACL. So like, when did it happen? How? And like, what was going through your mind when you got hurt?
Yeah, so basically going into my junior year, like I was working out. I worked out so much. I was working out like twice a day. Like then I was playing so good. Like this was probably the best I've ever seen myself play basketball.
Yeah.
So I was really just playing, having fun too. And we had a great team too. Like our team was stacked junior year.
Yeah.
And I remember it was November 6th. We was at practice. It was like, I think season started like 2 weeks after that. And we were just doing this rebounding drill. And I literally ran to go get the ball. Literally nobody near me. I stepped and it just popped. And I just started screaming. I was on the floor like screaming.
It was one of those ACL tears where if you're in the gym and you hear that scream, like you know what it is.
Yeah. So I was just like, dang. And in my head, I'm like, okay, like something's wrong. Like how something's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was talking, like I went back up in there to the training room. And
right or left?
Left.
Left knee. Okay.
I think she knew, but you know how like I don't think she wanted to say it to me right away.
Yeah.
So I think I ended up seeing the doctor that night, and then the doctor didn't say. She was just like, well, first you think it's your ACL, but like, you got to wait for the MRI. They don't want to tell me something that's, false. But yeah, it ended up being my ACL, and I was so hurt because I was just like, wow, like all this work I put it in.
Yeah.
It's just like I can't do nothing for the whole year.
It was just taken away from you in an instant.
Yeah, and it's just like, and it was just 2 weeks before the first game. That's what sucked about it the most. I mean, the one positive is that I still got to come back for a fifth year, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's just like, wow, like that really just sucks. You know, you can't do nothing, and on top of like, you have to have surgery. That was my first surgery.
Yeah.
So that was scary for me too.
Mm-hmm.
But
being away from home.
I had but my mindset coming back from this ACL and the second ACL was probably different. Like after coming back from this one, I was just like, okay, like I'm gonna get back. I'm fine. You know, like it's just grinding, you know, because it's just like you want to get back to where you're at. So that was my mindset. Of course, I went through, in the beginning, I was just like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
Then I went through a period, like, for a couple months, like 2-3 months, I was just like, wow, I'm down bad. Like, I probably didn't leave my room for a long time.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I was going to ask too. I mean, obviously at that point, you had a really close friend group with your class. Was Leah still there, or did she transfer?
No, Leah was gone at that. Yeah, she left at that point.
So, I mean, you had like Madison and Lauren, like you guys are a really close class or whatever. And at that point, like both of them were playing like so good, and you were like that third piece, you know what I mean? So I can only imagine like how hard it was to see like two of your best friends, like, you know, doing really well. You guys had this really rough first year, you know, you're finally like winning games, and then like you're hurt, you know, you're in Denver, you're away from home, it's like snowing all the time, and like, you know, you're having to do rehab. So like I was gonna ask, like, did you that during that time when you were down bad, like, you know, like notice changes to your like personality or anything like that? Because a lot of times people will like start drinking more, or like their grades will go down. Like I had surgery on my ankle, and I remember like I was just not fun to be around. I had a bad personality. Like I was just, you know, like super, you know, selfish, rightfully so. But I'm, you know, like for you, like were there any like things like that you kind of like saw like changes in yourself?
Honestly, like in the beginning, I was fine. Like when it came to like basketball and all that stuff, I stayed like the same, because I was just like, you know, like I have to be good for this part, you know, like cheering on everybody, you know, because at the end of the day, we're a team, and, you know, I care about all the people on the team. So I wanted to see them do as good as they could. And we had a great year that year. We made it all the way to the WNIC and everything. Like, it was a great season. Of course, it sucks because I would, you know, like, I just think like, dang, we made it this far and I couldn't even play, you know? But I was so happy that we made it that far. Like, that's amazing. That's why it sucked so bad, because our team was so good that year, you know? But I would say I would think I just isolated myself a little bit more. Like, I would just be in my room, not really wanting to bother with anybody. Did
you travel with the team?
You know, like, I traveled. So that was nice. But all the other times, you know, like from the period of like the whole, because we're off so long for winter break. So during that time, and then like a month after that, probably I was just in my room, not really being around a lot of people. Like if we would go out, I would go out, you know, have fun. But other than that, I didn't want to talk to really nobody. You know, then there was a time where I didn't sleep at all. Like I would stay up to like 4 or 5, like just trying to keep myself busy.
See, I was the opposite. I feel like that's all I did was sleep, because I didn't like feel anything. I was like, I didn't want to be bothered. I feel like I slept so much when I had my surgery.
Yeah, it's just weird. Then I really didn't eat too. Like I barely ate anything, because I was just like.
Did you lose a lot of weight from that?
Yeah, low key. But I was just like, because in my head I'm like, dang, I'm not able to run or work out or anything, you know. So I'm just like having to think about, okay, am I gonna gain weight? Like that was just a lot. And then like doing the rehab. Like I remember after doing rehab some days, like I would go to lift and I would come back and I'm like, I'm so mad. Like, but what am I mad at? Like, I'm mad at nothing. But it's just like, I can't help it, because I'm just frustrated. Like, it was just, you know how you have those days where you lift and you just in pain. Like, there would be days where it's just like, I'll be lifted and like, you know how you like get in your throat where you feel like you're going to throw up? It's so hard. I felt that so many times. Man. And I'm just like, dang, I'm tired of this, you know?
Do you feel like you had enough support and the right support from like the team and the coaches? Like, or, you know, sometimes I feel like people get hurt and then the coaches are like, okay, well, I can't use you, so, you know, you're not as important? Like, do you feel like, you know, you got support from the coaches and your teammates?
No, yeah, I think so. I think I got more than enough, you know, like
Good.
they were always checking on me, and it helped that I got to travel too, because I was always, you know, in tune, you know, at practice if they needed me to pass or something like that, I was always available to do that, you know, so that helped me a lot rather than, you know, just like sitting on the sideline, just being like, and then a lot of times I lifted during the practice, so it wasn't like, because otherwise, and then I had to do rehab too, so it's just like, if I'm going to practice doing lifts every day and then having to do rehab, I'm there for so much longer. So it's kind of like, this is the price I have to pay for getting hurt, you know? So it's nice how I got to be able to live during practice. So I didn't have to stay at the gym forever.
So the cool part about this story though, is like you made a full comeback. I mean, you started the next year, which would have been your redshirt junior year. 28 out of 29 games. You averaged 31 minutes a game, which was more than your first 2 years, and you averaged 7.8 points. So it was literally like you came back and like didn't like skip a beat. So how long were you out, and what was kind of like the comeback like to feel like, yes, like I overcame this major injury and, you know, I'm still starting, I'm still producing. Like, what did, you know, that feel like?
Honestly, it was cool. Like, so I had the surgery at the end of November, and then I didn't get cleared until October because I was gone at home for that whole summer. So I wasn't doing rehab, you know, at school. So they technically couldn't really clear me because I was gone. So I ended up getting cleared in October, and, you know, that's already preseason time, you know, when you start playing other teams. So I think I got cleared like 2 weeks before like our first like scrimmage game. So honestly, it was quick. You know, we had so much talent, like with our freshmen coming in, where I was just like, okay, like I got to get back right. Otherwise, I'm not going to be playing.
Right.
You know, so I think that started off that year pretty strong, like all the way up until like the first few games in league. And then I think I just got drained, like mentally, probably physically too. Like, I don't know. I feel like half of that, the last half of that year.
What was the team dynamic like that year? Like, I know it wasn't like your freshman year, but were there like any other like factors in terms of just like the team dynamic that year?
We had so many people on our team that year. I think we had like 16 people on our team that year.
Which we've always, like, before there's been like small numbers, so that's a lot.
Yeah, so it was a lot, but everybody got along. We was all cool with each other. Trying to think back and remember. But yeah, I think that year was pretty cool. I just think we weren't as close as I think we were
the other years.
No, we did. We weren't as close. I'll be honest. We weren't all super close because everybody had different personalities and all that stuff. Yeah. But I think, like, you know, as the year went on, we for sure got closer. You know, as, you know, senior night came around and all that stuff. You know, we was all super cool with each other. We had fun together.
Made your
but, you know,
comeback.
It's just like everybody has to warm up.
Did you like have pain? Do you think that you were like playing maybe too many minutes? Like, what was it kind of like, you know, mid-February? Like, did you ever like just have a lot of pain or feel like, you know, you were doing too much? How did you kind of monitor your knee? Were you like, you know, lifting less or practicing less or things like that? Like, how did you kind of monitor, you know, after coming back from that?
I think it was less about my knee and like more mentally. Like I knew my knee was fine because I had to have that mindset where it's just like, okay, my knee is good to go. And I think I just did a lot more in the training room than I normally would. Yeah. So that helped a lot. And then our practices were really short. Like we were having like during season, our practices would be hour and a half, hour 45. Yeah. That's it. So that helped a lot. And we weren't doing like so much. We just really did what we needed to do and then kept it pushing. But I think it was just more mentally, just me in my head more than anything, I would say, for like the second half of the season. You know, like I wasn't playing how I wanted to play or how I knew I could play and how I was before I got hurt. So I think it was just a lot. And, you know, it just takes a while to really snap out of it and all that stuff. But it also kind of sucks because that's my class's senior year, you know? Yeah. So it was just a lot.
Do you think Do you feel like then that you didn't come back? You said before you got hurt that was the best you have like ever played. So when you came back, like what was different about your game that kind of like frustrated you?
What was just like getting used to like, it's kind of like starting over. Like, cause you know, a lot of what I do is like quick, like,
right,
you know,
explosive
and stuff like that. And I still was pretty quick, but it was just like, it was just different. You know, like I still felt like I was good, but it was just like, I felt like I was just missing. Maybe it was just the confidence. It might have just been my confidence missing, realistically, of what I had before. So I think that's probably what it was. Just my confidence of being like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah. I mean, but regardless though, you still played like a whole lot of minutes. Full comeback, like, you know, it wasn't like you came back and like didn't play or anything like that. Just battling a lot of like internal things that's you know, you would expect. So then you tear your ACL again. And when I heard that, I was literally just like, there's no way, I don't wish that upon anybody, let alone someone that I know. And, you know, so tell us about the second ACL, how it happened, when, and just kind of like what you felt in that moment.
Yeah, that one sucked, honestly. Cause you know, you come back for your 5th year and you're like, okay, like this is my last year. Like I'm excited, you know, and we were practicing a lot and everything. Honestly, I was tired. Like I could feel my body tired.
Yeah.
You know, and normally, truthfully, I don't really get tired when it comes to like practices and stuff like that. Cause I trained the whole summer, you know, to get to where I need to be and get my body right. And it was a practice in, I think, October, the beginning of November. And we was playing 5-on-5. I went up for a layup, literally by myself. And I stepped to jump for the layup, same one. And as soon as I took off, I just came right back down. And I was just like, and that one felt like I knew I tore it right away.
Yeah.
But it felt like I tore everything else on my knee too. So that's how bad. That one hurt way worse than the second one.
Wow. So uncontested layup, just no one there.
Yeah. No, I mean, we were playing 5, but there was nobody there. Like, at all. And I just went up. And that was it. I was so hurt too. I was so sad. Because I was just like, wow, like this is my last year. I mean, of course I could have had a COVID year, but 6 years in college.
I was going to ask about that. Did you ever think about that? But
that one hurt because I was just like, wow. And I know that's when I really felt like a lot of the team really hurt too. You know, because it was just like,
they've seen you go through so much. Yeah. And at that point, the girl, like Madison and Lauren were gone then, right? So you were just by yourself, like in your class, kind of, sort of.
Yeah. So, kind of, basically,
yeah. Wow.
So, you know, then, like, at that time, I started getting closer with, like, you know, the rest of the team, like the younger people that I wasn't really super close with, you know, because I was so used to hanging out with my class.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it just was an effect on everybody because it just sucked because, you know, we all wanted to play together.
Yeah.
And
you're their leader. You're the senior. This is your 5th year, and everyone. Yeah, that's tough. So mentally, like, what did that do to you? Like when you're, you know, you found out you tear your ACL again, you know, 5th year. You know, like you decided to come back. You didn't have to, but you decided to come back. Like, you know, what were you feeling when you're alone and you kind of realize, like, dang, like, why me again?
Yeah, that's what I asked. Like, as soon as I tore it, I was like, why? Like, why? Literally, I said it probably like 10 times when I was on the ground in the gym. But honestly, it just sucks. You just really have to come to face with it. It's just like, okay, like, maybe this is meant to happen, you know, like maybe I just need to get stronger, you know, like God has a different path for me right now. Because after I tore this one, I was just like, okay, like basketball could just be for fun now.
Yeah.
Like, having to come back again. And then it's just like, well, what if, then that's when it started getting in my head, like, oh, what if I get hurt again?
Yeah.
You know, like I never thought about that after the first one.
Yeah.
So after the second one, I was just like, I'm tired of this. Like, I don't want to have surgery again. Like, I don't want to go through rehab again. Like, it was just hard, you know? I think it's just amazing for people who have 2 and 3 and keep going, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing. But for me, I was just like, I'm cool. I'm going to support my team. I finished out the year. I went to all the practices. I didn't get to travel with the team, but, went to all the home games, supported them and loved them. And at that point, I was just like, well, I need to enjoy my my last year at Denver.
Yeah.
Like, I had fun. I went out,
And at that point too, you had graduated and now you're getting your master's, right?
Yeah, I was getting my master's. So I used that. I mean, I think it was not, of course I wanted to play, but then I started to do a lot of my stuff because my schedule was so packed with the master's and all the classes and everything.
Yeah.
I was just like, I would take my laptop to practice because our practices would be about 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just be on my laptop, like doing everything I can on the downtime of practice. So I wasn't packed afterwards, but it sucked.
Yeah. Did you ever like mentally have to like, or want to like speak to like a therapist or sports psychologist or someone like that to like help you through it? Or like, what kind of like things did you do to like help you get through both of those?
I don't know. I think at times I probably would have wanted to speak to a therapist, but I didn't really take the next step with doing it.
Right.
But honestly, I just prayed a lot, honestly. I prayed a lot. I talked to my parents, my family, my friends, they helped me through it a lot. But it's just like, everybody has their own path. And that's what I would tell myself. I'm such a positive person.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm good. I got this, And then I think it helped me learn how to feel my feelings too. Like, it's okay to, that I'm hurt. It's okay to feel how I feel, and I think it took me a long time to really understand that. And I think I had the people that I was surrounded with, that I hung out with a lot, really helped me with that.
So, I mean, going through one ACL tear, like, is hard enough. Like, it's a major, like, it's a really big deal, but going through two is like insane. So, like, what would you say through all of that was the hardest part?
Well, it's probably mentally. It's mentally, like, you have to do this every day for your knee to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it's hard, even when you feel like you want to give up, you just have to keep going. Because it only gets better. But the crazy thing is just like sometimes you'll feel so good, like you'll go say a month and a half and be like, oh, I'm amazing,
Yeah.
Then that you'll have that one day where it's just like you feel like you're at rock bottom again.
Yeah.
But it's just like you still have to, keep going and take yourself out of that mindset, because it's just like every day you're getting better, no matter what, you're growing every single day.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really a mindset. You have to stay positive even when it gets hard.
Yeah.
And you have to surround yourself with like people that support you.
For sure.
That's huge.
So ultimately though, like, you had to let go of basketball, and eventually, like, we all as athletes, like, have to let go of it. I mean, you can't play forever, and we all, whether for injuries or you go on, pro and, you have a family, like, you have to like let go of the actual like a game at one point. And it was even hard for me to let go. Like, I felt like I got really kind of depressed and I lost kind of like my identity because it was so rooted in being a basketball player. So how did you allow yourself to kind of let go of Bree, the basketball player, and just kind of like move on?
Honestly, it was hard. Like, I don't think you really understand. Like, it's hard for yourself to really understand, like, when you let go. Like, when you think it's the right time to let go, you don't really, it's really not. You know what I mean? So, like, even though I got hurt my whole fifth year and everything, like, it never really hit me until, like, probably, like, I was out of college.
Yeah.
And then I was so busy over the summer. So I think September really hit me. I was just like, it's just like, whoa, like, this when how you see everybody still in college. And I'm just like, dang, this sucks. Like, my whole last year, I couldn't play.
Yeah.
Then I thought about, I'm like, dang, maybe I should have took my 6 years just so I could, like, at least play, like.
Yeah, like one last game.
Yeah.
Because for you didn't know that year before that was your last game, and it was.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't really get that like last, like,
Yeah, you just think about like, oh, I have my last practice, but it's just different, But I don't know. I just think it just takes a lot of time and then a lot of mental work to really just be like, okay, like it's okay. And then I think what helped me is like I plan leagues now. Every now and then I like go play with my friends, and that's just it's fun because sometimes basketball in college isn't fun.
No, a lot of times it's not fun in college. It's a job. Like it's a job.
Yeah, like for a lot of times it's not fun. So I think like being able to play with your friends like in different leagues, it's just like wow, you really realize how much you miss it, but also it's not as serious as it was before. You know, you can have fun with it.
Yeah. So now you're a runner. I follow the running Instagram page. How did you get into that? Like, I mean, I've heard stories of people that like tear their ACLs and go on to do like other things, but I mean, aren't you putting a lot of like pressure on like running on those miles? Like what, like how did you get into running?
Honestly, so like after, so when I tore my 5th year, and then after I came back from spring break in like March, I was just like, okay, I had gained like probably like 15 pounds. So in my head, I'm already like tweaking. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what am I doing? Because I wasn't able to really run or anything. And I was just literally lifting and eating. So I was just like, okay, I got to get back right. So every day I would just, when I was cleared to run, I would just run. And I was
like outside or inside?
I would normally run on the treadmill. I would mix it up, but mainly the treadmill because if I run outside, it would like start to hurt my knee. Yeah. Especially like that early in. So I would run like for 30 minutes on the treadmill, just like something to do to get back in shape, you know? And at that point, I didn't really think about like, oh yeah, I'm going to take running serious. Like it's just like, okay, like I'm not playing basketball. I need to work out, So I think last summer, 2021 summer, I was just like, you know what? I'm running all the time. Like, why don't I just take it serious? Not take it serious, but like actually make something of it. Like have something to look forward to now that basketball is done.
Yeah, a way for you to like still be an athlete and compete.
Yeah, so I was just like, okay, I ran a little bit, and then I got away. I mean, I still ran in this past fall, but I never really was just like, I had dropped it. I was just like, oh, okay. Like in the summer, I was like, yeah, I should do 5K. That'll be fun. But then at work, I was just thinking, I'm like, fine, I should start running. Like, what am I doing? I should start doing some races. So Easter, I did my first 5K. I got first, I got second overall, and that was amazing. I was just like, wow, like, this is fun, And it's just like that first race, when they say go, I was just like, whoa, like, I felt like so many emotions because I was just like, wow, I've been talking about this for like a year now, and I'm finally doing it. Like,
did you feel any kind of similar emotions again of getting that thrill to what it's like when you're playing basketball?
Yeah, I would say but I think it was just more emotional.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, wow, like, it made me feel like I wanted to cry. I don't know, like, every race I do in the beginning, it makes me feel like I could cry. I don't know why, but I don't know. It's just, like, how I feel. So after that race, I was just like, oh, because at first I was just like, let me just start off with the half marathon. But I'm like, no, I need to, like, get my way into it. Yeah. So then Memorial Day, this past one, I did my 10K. And that one, so I did the 10K, was it like a couple days ago, literally on Monday. Yeah. But then Friday, I've never ran that 6 miles straight. So on Friday, like 3 days before the race, I was like, okay, I need to do this 10K so I know how it feels. So I did it, and I'd have like almost an 8:30 pace. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, I can do it. Yeah. So then race day came, and there was so many people. It was like 3,000 people. Dang. And it was huge. I was like, whoa, I guess this is my first huge race. Yeah. So then I ended up running, and I got a 7:04 pace. I was shocked. I was like, whoa.
That's impressive.
But I know, I shocked myself because I was like, wow, it's nothing but God to do that. Because I'm like, dang, I just ran an 8-something pace. But I think it's like, when you're running with people around you, you're racing, you're kind of like, okay, like, I need to get into it. But I think I was the 4th girl, and it's crazy because I looked at the girls that beat me, and they were all older. They were like 50 years old. Yeah. And I'm like, dang, those are professional runners. Yeah.
Wow,
but
that's awesome.
So now it's just something I look forward to now. Like, my goal is to do the LA Marathon next year. So yeah, I'm really just a runner now. I'm running every single day, basically.
That's crazy. I love that, man. That's awesome. That's such a like cool like success story of that in its own, that you were, still able to kind of like find that and everything. Obviously, like you said God's plans are different and everyone's path and everything changes. And what's crazy though is hearing too that when Madison and Lauren tore their ACLs, I was just like, oh, Leah, don't do anything. So yeah, like you came in with those 4 for the people that don't know, and like 3 of the 4 of y'all within the last like 2 years.
I know, all ACL.
Yeah.
Leah's the lucky one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough. It's just like, it's so common in girls now, which is so weird. Because it's just like, you just hear it now all the time.
Yeah.
But you get through it.
So, in closing though, like what advice do you have for anyone going through the injuries? You know, obviously like ACL, but just any kind of like really serious injury too. Like I know that a couple kids right now come to mind that, you know, have had ACLs and everything like that. What advice do you have for anyone just going through something similar?
I would just say you have to stay positive. You know, you have to keep good people around you that want to, you know, see you win. And I would just say every day, no matter how hard it is, every day gets better. Every day is one step closer to you getting cleared and to you being back where you want to be. You know, because you can go through injuries and come back way better than you were before. Mm-hmm. You know, you really just have to stay positive and take it one day at a time. And don't rush. That's my bit. One huge thing. Yeah. Don't rush. You know, take your time. If your body's telling you need a break, then take the break. You know, like, you only know how you feel. All these people around you can say you're ready and you're good to go, but they don't know how you feel. They don't know how what your body's telling you. Mm-hmm. So I think you really have to listen to yourself and listen to your body and don't ignore any sign that is telling you to slow down. Yeah. It's also kind of similar to like when Klay Thompson tore his ACL and then he came back and then like tore his Achilles, like, you know, and is playing again. So like it's possible, but you know, it's a little bit harder. It's a little bit more challenging. And you just have to like make those decisions that are like, you know, best for you. Because I couldn't imagine if you would have taken your COVID year, putting yourself through that. Like, I mean, like it mentally like is just a lot too. And I feel like part of it is just like knowing to, you know, move on to something else. So, yeah, like I'm so proud of you. Oh, thank you. I know I'm proud of you too. Look at you, podcast. I know. It's crazy. Before we started recording, me and Bree were talking about how like I used to make like vlogs and stuff like with them at their freshman year when we like traveled and stuff. Like, so yeah. Yeah, you're for that. I know you got all those half-court shots too then. Oh yes, for sure. Like I know I need to like bring them out of the archives. Do you remember that one day? I don't know if you were in there, but like me and Cece were like scaring people, and I like knocked over the trash can. I think I got like Lauren, Sydney Cole, and like Madison or something. I don't know. I think I do remember that. Oh, you had lots of fun. You can see through that mirror. Yeah. I know. Well, thank you so much for taking time to come on. What do you have planned for the rest of the day? Anything? I'm about to tan, actually. Really? I'm going to get some sun in the backyard. Okay, Miss LA. Yeah. Oh what do you have planned? I'm going to go get an oil change because I've been like putting it off for a while, and I don't know. This is kind of like my downtime, so I'm just chilling right now, catching up on life. So, but I definitely appreciate you coming on, and I wish you the best of luck. We might have to have an update on this like LA marathon, like going on. No, so. Thank you for having me on my first podcast. You did so good, man. Thank you. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it and also learned something new. If you liked it, please give it a review and rating in the app that you're listening in. And also send the episode to a friend, a coworker, teammate, or a coach, anyone that you think might enjoy it. Just go ahead and send it to them.
Also, make sure you're following the Instagram pod at offdayspod and never miss a beat. I'm your host, Britt. Stay inspired, and I'll see you on your next off day on the Off Days podcast.